Hello and welcome to Lofty Pursuits and Public Displays of Confection in Tallahassee, Florida. I'm Greg, and today Jake and I are going to take a trip without taking a trip. We figured we're trapped here in Tallahassee, not being able to travel like many of you, and wouldn't it be fun to travel with candy and have the flavors of the world? There are flavors that are known around the world for different things and relating to different countries, and we thought it might be fun to do a series of candies that are an assortment that have flags of different nations and the flavors that are known in the country. So far, we've heated the candy to 310 degrees. We've poured it on our candy cooling table, and as it cools, we add food coloring. The food coloring has a lot of water in it, and we need to get this water out. So we stir it into the very hot sugar fast, and you can see it boils almost immediately, getting rid of all the water in the form of steam, keeping the water out of the candy and preventing the candy from being sticky. We discovered this flag challenge that we put for ourselves is more complicated than we thought. A lot of countries are known for the same fruit, and a lot of flags we can't make. They're just too complicated. So we're going to pick some flags that we can make, and flavors that we think you'll like but are going to be a bit unusual. We're going to start with the country of Thailand, and the star fruit, the carambola. We're going to add a little citric acid here, that's the white powder. And fortunately, I'm really familiar with how these should taste. You see, they grow in South Florida. They may not be native there. And a friend of mine's father has a farm with carambola plants on it. My friend John would pick them on the vine and drive them up that afternoon. They were so fresh, and they were much bigger than what you find in the supermarket. I think they picked them early to get them to ship better. But these things were amazing, and we've captured this flavor in the candy itself. Flags are icons, and it's important that you do the proportions as best as you can, out of respect to the flag for any country. So what we're doing here is the Thai flag has 5 stripes. 2 red ones that represent the land and the people that are 1 unit wide. 2 white ones that are also 1 unit wide that represent the religions of Thailand. And 1 big blue one that's 2 unit wide in the middle that represents the monarchy. This flag was adopted in 1917 and is an apocryphal story about why it was adopted. Before this, it was an elephant on a red background, and the wind knocked it over once and was accidentally hung upside down, and the king declared there'd be a new flag that could never be hung upside down. And this apparently is it. But also in 1917, Thailand declared war on Germany during World War I. And they picked a flag that was the same color scheme as their allies, the United States, Britain, France, and Russia. If you notice, the candy I was pulling was sort of amber in color, and I needed white, and I didn't achieve this with food coloring. I achieved this just using my arms and pulling this candy on the hook. You see, every time I fold the candy over, I fold in air bubbles, and the air bubbles reflect light and make the illusion of the candy being white. It also creates more surface area on the final candy, so when you eat it, it's going to give a little pop of flavor as it'll dissolve faster on the white stripes than on the solid colors. Now it's time for me to build the flag, and the problem is, how much of each color did I make? I needed to make a precise amount. It's easy to calculate the area of something when you're dealing with rectangles, but we're dealing with rectangles that are cut out with a circle, because this will be a circular approximation of the flag. And how did I do this? I did this with math. It's pretty easy to calculate area of the circle once I sketched it out. And if I did this right, I made exactly the right amount of red, white, and blue. So if I cut the red in half and the white in half and make 1 stripe of blue, if I make it round, all the stripes will be in the right proportion. As I alluded to earlier, we're going to be making a series of this in different flavors from around the world. This all started because of one of our listeners on our podcast. His name is Sam, and he wrote, in the wake of flights being grounded, a candy assortment featuring national flavors might be popular. And I think he's right. We added the flag design idea. Thank you, Sam. And Sam found this out on our podcast, and then we posted on the community section of YouTube a request for flavor ideas. Normally when we do this, we get 10, maybe as many as 40 comments. This time we got over 800 comments, and we knew we were on to something. There's going to be a series of these videos and a series of these candies. We're not 100% sure of all the flavors we're going to do, but I know I'm going to do lychee because I've been wanting to do that for a while. And Woodruff from Germany, maybe. And how about prickly pear from Mexico? Although I don't think I can do the Mexican flag, or one of the other countries prickly pear comes from. I want to avoid flavors that I've already done. So as much as I love maple syrup from Canada, our mushroom flavor is very mapley, so we're going to stick with that for the moment. But what flavors can you think of that would make good candy that we may be able to investigate? Because this is a process of investigation, of exploration. You may not be able to explore the world right now, but maybe we can give you a little something from around the world to explore without leaving your house. And of course, if you want to try this candy for yourself, you can just go to our website, www.pd.net. We ship worldwide, and that would be kind of appropriate with a worldwide range of flavors. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We also have a Patreon page that allows you to donate to a fund which we use to make the podcasts and do the strange travel videos and the things that are not, well, business related directly. We'd like to thank all of our wonderful Patreon subscribers for their support. Let me recap what we've done so far. We heated the candy, we cooled the candy, we divided it into colors. We built a log that has the cross-section of the Thailand flag. And then I started tapering it. And when I tapered it, I was able to cut off the end. We call that end a unicorn dropping. We sell it in the store. And we were able to put it on our batch roller. At this point, Jake has been tapering it down into individual rods. So we take a log, we make it into rods, and finally we're going to cut it up into individual pieces. And we do that on our Canval. It's supposed to be good for 12 feet underwater. I'm going to take it so I can wash it. We may be out of nanotones, by the way. Oh, really? We're expecting shipping them. We shouldn't be out of them, but we could be. Didn't think that was a problem. Y'all come around, don't worry. All that's left to do is look at the final design, and it came out great, and the flavor is wonderful too. You can order this candy and we can ship it to you if you go to www.pd.net and you can try it for yourself. But if you're ever in Tallahassee, we're right off the I-10 exit at Thomasville Road in Tallahassee, and you might be lucky enough to see us make it. We don't have a regular schedule, but we make candy a lot of times, just not all the time, and we hope you get to see it in person someday. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.